Gone 5, 16, 19, 21, 33, and 10. Check results. You remember?
I mean, if you watch the last episode, you can see how different this vibe is. Exactly the same sitting position. Moments after I just did the last one, but moved the lighting. It was December 1st. I wanted a warm feeling. I wanted something Christmassy. But this is what it actually looks like in here. It looks stark and pale and white, and it's still very much the afternoon, not the evening, which I was trying to force. Now, I guess this is technically for you, December 2nd. And less magic. For me, Christmas, December 1st, feels very Christmassy to me. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, it kind of loses it. Then once you get into the teens, it's like, oh, as in of the month. It's like, oh, Christmas. I like Christmas. I kind of like working at Christmas. I kind of like that whole misery of like getting on the train and like everyone else on the train, or it's like 2 a.m. and you're on your way home, and everyone else on their way home, probably whoever you see is probably on their way home. It's like, oh, it's Christmas, and you see them, and everyone's cold, and they're walking, and everyone's miserable because they're working near Christmas. But it's like, but there's something about that though, like struggling around Christmas that like feels that kind of fun about it. It's hard to explain. It's hard to explain. It's kind of like one of those things you either get it. It's like the guys who get it, or whatever the phrase is. It's like I can't really explain it. Those times where like you'd finish, like you worked like Christmas Eve or something, you finished like pretty late, and you're getting home, and there's like Christmas lights up and stuff, and it's really, the streets are really quiet, and anyone else you see is also kind of in the same boat as you. You're walking back, and it's like it's fucking Christmas tomorrow, and just walking home. It was fucking snowing on the way here, very briefly, but in the short period that I chose to leave, it was fucking snowing, and that shit was hitting me in the eyes. I was on the bike, and like that hurts. Snow hurts when you're going quick. And then it just stopped pretty much as soon as I got here. But that was fun. I mean, I doubt it will snow anywhere near Christmas or on Christmas. It doesn't do that around these parts, unfortunately. But it would be nice for like a little bit of snow on Christmas. Never happened in my lifetime yet. I think it could happen before I die, maybe, but it's very unlikely. It hasn't snowed on Christmas in over 60 years, or whatever the quote is. But one day, it was probably from like White Christmas or some kind of film like that. But yeah, I'm about to head back in a minute though. I'm debating whether I just take the bike on the train or if I just cycle back. Issue being with cycling back is I could make it, but my hands would be freezing. I mean, I did let's say 65% of the journey on the way here. Now the journey's longer because I moved the boat. Just skim over everything I'm saying right now. Just go with me, right? So now the journey back will be, 35% longer, and my hands are bitterly cold on the 100%, and that was earlier in the day, so I can only assume it's colder now. And I'm inside right now, so I'm not actually sure how cold it is right now because I've got the fire on, so I'm like pretty warm. So it's one of those things that right now I'll be like, I can do it, and then I'll get to like not even where I was last time, and I'll be freezing. The thing about, because it's an electric bike, the thing about that is that you want to get back quicker, but the faster you go, the more frozen your hands are going to be because you're going quicker and the wind is hitting them. And I've got gloves; they don't help. Gloves won't help you now. I mean, it was snowing, so it's got to be about 2 degrees at least. Like when it snows, I think the rule is for if it's snowing, it's not going to be below freezing. Otherwise, it couldn't snow because the snow would just be ice and frozen. So if it snows, it's got to be about 1 or 2 degrees. Is that true? I think that's right. Is that right? Someone told me that. I'm pretty sure that's right. Or is it the other way around? I'm pretty sure someone told me, and it was someone older than me, and I was probably a child, or probably not a child, probably like 17. And then there was like, if it's snowing, it means it has to be above freezing. So if that's the case, it was probably around 1, 2, 3, 4 degrees, around there. If you use Fahrenheit, just get out of my face. I use stone, right? I don't use kilograms. That's one of those things where I just know it as stone. I'm used to stone. But I understand that like a lot of people use kilograms, and I could see a world where that makes more sense, right? 14 pounds in a stone, right? I get it. It's a bit weird. I get that. But that's what I'm used to, and that's what I use. But I get that it's weird, right? People, just because it's what they use, and they go off on stuff like, oh, people who use kilograms are fucking crazy. It's like, no, I get it if you use it, but I don't. And don't act crazy if I do, because it's just how I use it. It's just what I know, But like, people who use Fahrenheit, America, and they go, Celsius. Just like use Fahrenheit, dude. Like, why the fuck are you doing it in Celsius? Use fucking Fahrenheit. It's like, no, no, no. You can't now be doing the whole just use Fahrenheit. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are they gonna be so annoying about it? Use Fahrenheit, right? With grams and kilograms, fair enough, because that's the one where I guess it makes more sense. 100 grams in a kilogram. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I get that. Fahrenheit, I don't even fucking, freezing is like 40 degrees Fahrenheit or something. You can't. You can't. You can't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If you use Fahrenheit, fine. But you can't, in that scenario, you can't be the one who goes, come on, why is the world using Celsius? Because Celsius just makes sense. Boiling point, what's that, like 100 degrees? Probably, because that would make sense. And then freezing, 0 degrees. Oh, wow, it makes sense. Oh, my God, that makes sense. Nice and easy, you know? So, yeah, like, 40 degrees outside, and that's, like, freezing, apparently. That's just weird. But if you're used to it and you get it, and that's fine. I'm not gonna hear you say that you use Fahrenheit, and I'm not gonna shame you for it. But if you try shame me for using Celsius when you use Fahrenheit, now we have a problem. Now there's an issue. You can see I've been burnt by this before, you know? There's just certain things. People love to, like, it's like pineapple on pizza. People love to just debate about shit that's so fucking, so spoken about and fucking annoying. Like, oh my God, are you pineapple on pizza? Never. That's a fucking crime if you have pineapple on your pizza. It's like, I don't fucking care. I don't. If you do, I don't. People eat way weirder shit than pineapple on pizza. To me, sweet corn on pizza is just as weird. I don't fuck with any of it, and I don't care if you do. You know, there's weirder shit. I don't know why that's became like this argument that you hear on all these like fucking talk shows and like fucking actors interviews on things. Interview question: pineapple on pizza, yes or no? It's like, why are we doing this still? Why? You know. Anyway, that's a very niche irk of mine. Here's something that's completely unhinged. Yesterday, I was talking about something that's unhinged, and what I was talking about that was unhinged was not Hinge, but what was it? The Squid Game show. Fucking crazy. The reality show, right? Today, the thing that I want to speak about that's absolutely fucking unhinged is Doctor Who. Now, I watched Doctor Who as a young sprout, and you know, I liked it. Never watched any season before David Tennant. Like, I'm sure my parents had the Christopher Eccleston, that's his name, right? Seasons on. Don't know who it was before that. So they probably watched some of those ones. I never did, never cared. David Tennant, though, that's where I was captured. That's what got me in. I was watching it there, and I enjoyed Doctor Who around that time. I was never a kid who was like into stuff so much that he had like a bunch of things for it. I think at most, when I was very young, I watched Ben 10 a lot. And then I painted my room green, and I had like a Ben 10 lampshade and a Ben 10 bin, which I had for honestly about 6 months. And I kind of was like, I want to paint my room, you know, and I painted it like white or blue after that, just knowing, you know. So I've never really like been into something, and my parents bought me like a bunch of toys around that thing. And like I asked for like a bunch of toys around that thing. Like, I like shows and I like stuff and I like interests here. And, you know, but I've never, like, loved shit like that. But, like, you know, Doctor Who, I had, like, a little TARDIS, money box and stuff. I probably had, like, the screwdriver, the sonic screwdriver. And that, I liked the show, you know. But, you know, it was all around David Tennant era. So I know all that stuff. All of, you know, the Martha, you know, Rose, and, what's that wench's name? Donna, you know. All that kind of stuff, and that's when I liked it, and the Daleks, and just the way David Tennant would run around and talk, and it's just fun. It was very fun. I think that's why he captured a lot of people. It then moved into Matt Smith, which I watched a bit. I didn't have anything against him. Matt Smith, that's his name, right? He's a good actor. He's done a lot of stuff since then. You know, he comes in though, and at the time I'm like, oh, he's doing his little goofy, quirky thing. You know, he's like, oh, fingers, still have those. Oh, hair, oh, still not ginger. Oh, ah. And he's like acting like it's just a bit, you know. And I watch it a bit, you know. Is that, you know, Karen Gillan, you know, she's a huge star now, appears in that. You know, I liked the little duo, her and Rory, and that running around Amelia Pond, all that shit, right? But, you know, it never really was the same for me as David Tennant and stuff like that. It then moves on after him to, like, Peter Capaldi. I couldn't give less of a shit. Oh, my fucking God. You know, all this discourse and talk about, oh, maybe we should freshen up Doctor Who. maybe we should get someone new in, something that's doing something different, and it doesn't immediately mean like that's so surface level, like oh a different race or a different gender, but that's just something different, you know, something that feels different. And I get we had a couple young ones in a row, or relatively young ones, so I was like, okay, old is kind of different right now, but like old sort of, you know, quirky white geezers. It's like we can have a white geezer, a young geezer, an old geezer, or whatever geezer, but like there's got to be something different. It's got to feel fresh. And I just see Peter Capaldi getting that role, and I'm just like, I just don't give a fuck. And yet he's walking around with his brunette, you know, side companion. And I'm sure they were shot well. I saw some episodes that people really rave about, and there's probably some fun times to be had. But that was just a direction. I just thought this is fucking boring. I don't care. It'd kind of be like if the next James Bond is Henry Cavill. He'd probably be decent. I'm not saying he wouldn't be, but I just don't care. And again, that's not me saying it's got to be like Idris Elba or like Dev Patel, someone who, you know, who just visually looks different. But I just mean like someone who's offering something different. Like it just was that Henry Cavill's going to come and he's going to be the smoldering, you know, I'm James Bond. It's just me what we've had, but he's a different and a slightly different face, right? So then we go from that to Jodie, and I was already out by then. You know, I got nothing against Jodie Whittaker, Jodie Foster. Which one is it? I don't even know. I never watched any of the episodes. First female Doctor. She's got the two companions. I'm a fan of two companions over one, I think. And I'm sure they was all right. People, it's one of those things. A lot of people don't like them because they think it's like woke or whatever. A lot of people who watch them say they're actually not that bad. They're actually all right. Just never captured me. But then David Tennant comes back, and immediately he just has that thing about him. He just has something. I watched the special, and I'm like, it's just fun seeing him with the little, you know, the little. I just like forgot so much stuff about it. Like the little paper thing that like shows anything you need. You know, the screwdriver is always flicking it and catching it, and like the I was trying to think about the villains I can remember, and usually it's like, oh, the Daleks, yeah, the Cybermen, the you know, who else? Like the Weeping Angels. Those are the ones you remember. And then someone said something to me like, oh yeah, remember that one who was just like stretched out skin? And it's like, yes, I do remember that. I think I had a toy of that. No Daleks. I don't remember ever having a Dalek or any of the other toys. But I remember being gifted and having what was effectively just stretched out skin, and that was the villain. It was like in a box, just stretched skin with a face on it. And that was the fucking villain. I was like, oh my god, yeah. And it's just like remembering all this stuff, different type of stuff. And it's kind of got me back into it now. Because I'm not sure if I definitely would have watched the new Doctor Who with Ncuti Gatwa. Even though I watched Sex Education, I like him in that. But now I'm kind of like, I think I am going to watch it. And I think I'm going to enjoy it. And it's a fresh take. And I'm kind of looking forward to it. And I think that's a good option. And I think he was a good choice. And I'm looking forward to it. And, you know, that little, like, cross-section, I think, you know, maybe it was done, probably definitely, just for, like, you know, nostalgia purposes, really, why they bring that old face back. But I also think it was, like, quite clever, whether intentionally or not. So, like, you get people back in and excited with this face that everyone loves. And it's kind of like, you know what? I actually do think I want to check out the new one. Because, like, even though I think a lot of people would have checked out the new one anyway because they got Ncuti doing it, and I think that already would have brought extra viewers, I think the David Tennant stuff just, like, to re-spark it, just like the ignition, and then to brrr, you know, get it going, is quite a good idea. And because I probably will watch it now. I probably will watch it. And what I want to say, though, what's unhinged about it, is I've spoken to a lot of people about this, who all kind of have the same opinion, which is, was Doctor Who always this fucking insane? And this camp and this pantomime? And basically the answer is yes, but you just didn't notice it, or maybe because I didn't notice it because I was younger. But like, I'm watching that Christmas episode and they're doing things and they're making dialogue choices and story choices, right? And there's fixes to get out of scenarios that happen ridiculously quick in ridiculously convenient ways. That if even a sliver of these things happened in a Marvel film, 4 out of 10 or worse, awful film, Ant-Man level, you know, crap, bad, it's Thor, Love and Thunder, no. But Doctor Who can get away with shit. It can just be wacko, crazy, fucking unhinged insano time with fucking meep, the fucking whatever the fuck that is, and these aliens and shit. And then Doctor Who just puts on a wig, and now he's doing some courtroom stuff in a car park. And it's like, what the fuck? But you're just there, you're enjoying it, you're along for the ride. And that's the crazy thing about Doctor Who. The other two episodes are probably going to be completely crazy. I'll watch them. It's fucking what's his name, Barney from How I Met Your Mother, Neil Patrick Harris doing the goofiest performance probably ever, and I'll probably watch it and I'll probably enjoy it, to be honest. And I look forward to the new season as well. It's just some, I don't watch a lot of TV, especially not now. And probably most of the shows I have watched in the last year or two have been Marvel shows, and I don't really like Marvel shows. So it'll be good to watch something that I actually enjoy, a TV show I actually enjoy, because it's been a while. Can't remember the last TV show, probably like The Boys or like something along those lines. I can't really remember. I don't watch a lot of TV, but this is good. Just trying to, and also I also like just like bringing back excitement for a TV show on Christmas Day. Like when I was younger, I remember like a lot of the enjoyment. It's like, what's your favorite thing about Christmas? Is it the food? Is it the presents? Is it the family? No one's picking anything apart from presents if you're under the age of 16, really. So everyone's saying presents. Some people are saying food, right? One of the options would be the television. And I remember it was like you'd look through the magazine and stuff, and they would show you all the shows that are coming on for like 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, and be like, you'd go through and you'd circle it like, oh, this show I like, Christmas special. This show I like, Christmas special. On Christmas Day they got this Christmas bonanza, and it was like all your favorite shows, all their Christmas specials, and it was always great. And it was like whatever comedy or sitcom you watched, or this and that, or TV show or drama, they had these Christmas specials, and people would like them. And it's kind of like people don't watch TV anymore. Christmas specials aren't much of a thing anymore, really. People kind of just will watch a film on Christmas. And so I kind of appreciate Doctor Who. It's got this Christmas episode. I love Christmas themed things. I'm a sucker. If you said it around Christmas, like my favorite genre, I think, of film, well, don't hold me to this, but like, isn't necessarily Christmas films, but films that aren't really about Christmas directly, but are based or are set, around Christmas time. So I guess you could say Die Hard. People would consider that a Christmas film, right? But it's not really about Christmas. Well, I'm not saying it is or isn't. All right, this is another like pizza or pasta on, was it fucking pineapple on pizza debate thing, right? But like what I'm just saying is like it's not like a Christmas film where it's like about Santa down the chimney or this and that. It's like it's just around Christmas. Like in No Way Home, where it ends, it's like Christmas time, the tree's there, or like Hawkeye in the show, which endears me to it, is that it's just set around Christmas. And if it's a great story with some great lines and characters and themes and shit, and it's around Christmas and that's also happening in the background, it's like, oh my god, you're getting some extra points from me. The lighting, I'm losing it. It's getting even darker. I look like shit. It's flashing up and down and looking like crap. But, sitting by the fire, talking about some Christmassy stuff for a podcast a day. What more could you ask for? What more could you want? I haven't just remembered I've got work tomorrow early in the morning, and it's outside, and I'm going to be cold. Whenever you're happy, and then things and work just sort of reminds you, just brings you back down to earth. Very humbling. But yeah, that's all. Thank you very much. This is the podcast today. Keeps the doctor away, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.
Here with the kids. They had like 3 kids, and the geezer was probably on like maximum 20 bags a year. Like the most boring bloke you'll ever meet. He was like,